Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to another anti-character guide. Today we're going to do a Kuma anti-character guide. Kuma is very, very weak in this game. His damage is very high, but in order to actually launch you, he has to take huge risks. He just gambles with his life every single time he presses any button. So, you know, this, they're all like super punishable. So the first bit of advice for general tips is launch everything. Launch this, launch this, launch this, launch this, launch this. This is key low, right? Minus 15. Like, he is really, really bad frame wise. You can step Kuma. Some of his key moves track quite a bit. For instance, down back 2 has some tracking. 111, his 10 frame counter hit launcher. Hit confirmable, by the way. That does track quite a bit. He does have some other ones as well, but you can step. Just bear in mind when he does things, especially out of Hunting Bear. Just note that when he's using some of his key moves, he will track quite a bit, so just be careful. After some of his pressure moves, like when he's in heat and he does this, there's a really easy counter to that, which I'll show you later, but just to keep it short for the general tips, backdash once after electric beats a lot of what he can do. As well as sidestepping, it has basically no tracking. So launch everything, and also pressure with mids. Obviously, Kuma goes into Hunting Bear a lot of the time, and high mids will go over him, like Dragunov's. A lot of Dragunov's moves will go over him. A lot of Rainer's moves will go over him. Characters that have high mids, it will go over Hunting Bear stance a lot of the time. So try to use mids to check him when he goes into Hunting Bear. So yeah, pressure with mids. Also, you don't really need to use that many homing moves against Kuma because his sidestep is so bad. It is better in this game than it was in Tekken 7, but in general, his sidestep is generally not that good. Okay, so moving on to moves. Kuma's best moves are down back 2+3. This is a move that's minus 12, and it's a low, right? That sounds quite good, but it's fully reactable at 32 frames. He can charge this, makes it a bit more viable, leaves him at minus 4, and gives you some chip damage. So be careful about that as well. Back 1+2 is probably his best mid attack. Comes out at 18 frames. It's safe, it's homing, and it's mid. This is what also another reason I'd be careful stepping Kuma, because he has this. And on normal hit, it's a heat engager and it does 30 damage. So it is pretty good, and also knocks down on normal hit when he's in heat. And it's a launcher in heat as well. So be careful of that one. While running 1+2 is another heat engager. It's also +3, so don't press here afterwards. He actually doesn't have that many options afterwards though. He has while standing 1 or while standing 1-2, right? Or out of Hunting Bear, just 1-2, which is either minus 13 or minus 13. But he can charge this up and leaves him +3. So there is a mind game there. Forward 1+2. This is his other one of his other best attacks. Very, very slow. Very reactable. But it does leave him at +8 in Hunting Bear. So don't press after this either. The next moves I'm going to show you are moves that you should absolutely launch 100%. 111 if he finishes this string, this counter hit launcher. Hit confirmable, by the way, on counter hit. It's minus 16, you have to launch that. Down forward 2-1, minus 16, you need to launch that. Forward 3+4, minus 23. He has an extension. That doesn't matter, you can still, if you block the first one, forward 3+4, you can still launch him in between all of this. Down 1+2. The bear booty. Launch that. Used to be -14 in Tekken 7. Now it's -15. You can launch this. Down back 2 is Kilo. I talked about this before. -15. Really, really bad frames, I'm telling you, man. You need to launch this as well if you block it. Although, to be honest, Kuma takes such big risks doing any low pokes that this is actually pretty good, except that it was safe in Tekken 7 at -8. It's -12 now, and the range hasn't increased. It's got terrible range. But down back 2, he takes massive risks, so a lot of Kumas won't even go. If a good Kuma probably won't even go for a low a lot of the time. They'll just go for charged attacks and things like that. Try and look for a whiff. That's another thing I should have mentioned in general tips, actually. Don't whiff against Kuma, because this is a really, really good whiff punish. Really, really good. So down back 2, launch that. Down back 4, of course, you launch that. I'm sure you already know that. Down back 1+2, 1+2, 2. -15, launch this. Back 2, 2, 1. This new Heihachi style move. He finishes the string, it's -15. -10 if he only does this. Of course, there's a mind game here. He can also delay the last hit as well. But if he does the whole string, launch that. Back 3+4. This is launch. You launch this one as well. Up back 1+2. You launch this. Up forward 3, 4, 1+2. That is also -15. He can just do up forward 3, 4, right? You can't hit confirm the 1+2. But if he does the whole string, launch him for that. A point blank forward 2, especially at the wall. -19. You need to be launching that. Also, if he does it, a lot of characters can launch from here. Some characters might struggle, like Brian. Probably won't be able to launch that. But for a lot of characters who have long-reaching hop kicks, like Claudio or Reina, can probably launch this with down forward 2. Just, you know, make a judgment call on whether your character's down forward 2 or hop kick or whatever they use is long range enough to launch this. But yeah, launch this, especially at the wall. You need to launch this. QCF 2-2, -18. QCF 2-1 is actually -14, but this, we will get into it. This isn't even like mix-up. Both attacks are fully reactable. Well, I mean, this might not be reactable, but this certainly is. Really, really slow. During hunting, 2 is -15. You need to launch that. 1+2, -15. You need to launch that. This video's just turned into launch this, launch that, man. Down forward 2 out of hunting, -17. You need to launch that. And back 1+2. The spin to win, right? You need to launch this. He can also do 1 as well. So here's kind of a mind game, but not really. It's -25, so you have long enough to react to it being 1 and then just launch him. So from bear roll, when he does this, if he does 2, launch that. If he does 3, launch that as well. Although this is quite tricky to launch. You can float this, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to try and demonstrate that now. Let's see if Kuma can float Kuma. Yes, you can float that while standing 4. Of course, Kuma's one doesn't work. Okay, anyway, maybe there is an option there. Okay, so now moving on to moves you should punish. I know this is basically just going through the move list, this guide, but I thought some of these moves are like very key to Kuma, and a lot of Kuma is just knowledge checking. This is the reason why I'm doing a lot of launch this, punish this. This is how you counter him. You just need to be able to punish everything, because everything he does is so punishable. 2-1-2. The same start as 2-1-3. You have 2-1-3 and you have 2-1-2. This is his mix-up. Let me just take hand off heat. The thing to note about the 3 here is in Tekken 7, This whole string was a punish. It's 10 frame punish, right? In Tekken 8, he only gets 2-1 here. He doesn't get 2-1-3. So if you keep eating this as a punish, try and block the 3 because he's minus 13 here. A lot of Kumas in Tekken 8 have been a bit lazy with this one. So block the 3 and punish it. It's not even guaranteed on counter hit either. So he doesn't get this for free at all. 1+2 is minus 13. Demon Breath, Heihachi's move, minus 13. Just a new move, so in case you guys are wondering how minus that is, it's minus 13. It's also not 12 frames, it's 13 to 14 frames as well. Forward 1+2, 1+2. First hit is minus 15, the second hit is minus 14. In Tekken 7, this was minus 16, so he's got a slight buff here with it being minus 14. Not much of a buff, but there we are. It's not launch anymore. This will launch on its own, and the second hit will also launch on its own, so do be careful about that string. It is very heavily punishable, as you can see. Downward 1-2, 1+2. This is a new string that Kuma has. It is minus 14. He can play a little bit mind game because it's mid, mid, mid. Probably one of his best strings, to be honest, even though it's pretty slow. But he is minus 14 here. Down back 1-2. Chargeable. So on its own, this move is minus 13. It's his 14 frame punish. It's an okay move because you can play mind games with the charge. He is +3 here with the charge. Be careful about hesitating and then pressing, because you will eat a lot of damage if this hits you. Down back 3. This low in Tekken 7 was safe at minus 8. It is now minus 12 in Tekken 8. I don't know why, because the range still is complete ass. But it is minus 12 now. So any legacy players who played against Kuma in Tekken 7 thinking that this was safe in Tekken 8, it's not. It's minus 12. Down back 2+3. This is minus 12. Quite slow. He can charge it. Medium. Which does chip damage. Right? He can do a full charge, which leaves him at minus 4. He is not plus here. In case you think he's plus, he's not. Just because of the heavy impact doesn't mean he's plus. He's actually minus 4 here. Back 1, the Power Crush. If he goes into Hunting Bear, it's minus 15. If he doesn't, it's minus 13. So a safe option here is to do a 13 frame punish that is mid. If you do a high 13 frame punish and he goes to the Hunting Bear, or a high mid punish, like, I don't know, Dragunov probably has a high mid punish, to be honest, because all of his mids are high. It will probably whiff over Kuma. So it's safer to just go with a mid 13 frame punish here. But if you know he's gonna, if Kuma keeps going into Hunting Bear here, you can actually launch him here. Back 2-1, we've already talked about that. That's a mix-up with this. But if they keep just doing this move, this legacy move, you can duck the high here and launch him. While standing 1-2, minus 13, mid. Some of you I think this is mid-high, but it's actually mid-mid. The reason I think that is because of the charge here. Looks a little bit like a high. I mean, kind of. Really, it's just mid-mid. But he can charge this up, right? He can charge the 2 up and make it +3. I mean, you can kind of react to this, but you can just choose. If he charges it medium, like a medium charge, you can make it minus 12 instead of minus 13. See the difference? And if he does a full charge, it makes him +3. Probably not as plus as you thought, but he does get 3+ frames here. So be careful of that one. While standing 2, not to be confused with Hunting Bear down forward 2. It's the same move, it just comes out of a different stance. So crouching, it's minus 12. And in Hunting Bear, it's minus 17. So launch out of Hunting Bear. If he's not in Hunting Bear and he does this, just do a 12 frame punish. And during hunting, 1-2, minus 13. You can also charge this. This is actually pretty good. This is actually pretty good. This is another charge move that he has. It does a lot of chip damage. He is +3 again. There's a lot of charge moves that Kuma has, but as long as you know what they are, then you can deal with them quite easily. So out of Bear Sit, all of the moves here are -12. So he has 1-1, 2 lows, which are -12, and he has 2, which is also -12. I don't think he has anything else. Oh, he has a 3+4 as well, which is also -12 with terrible range. But anyway, that is -12. Next, I'm going to show you some strings we need to duck and launch. 1-2. 2 swipes. High. Duck and launch this. Forward 2-1. Also high. You duck and launch this. Down forward 3-2. The only extension he has out of down forward 3 is the swipe. So, yeah, duck and launch this. Does chip damage. And it's also -5. It's not plus, even though it looks like very high impact move. You are plus here. Back to 1. We already talked about this. You should duck the high if he keeps doing it like that. Also, during hunting, this grab that he does, try and duck this. If he tends to go for this from Hunting Bear, because he doesn't actually have that many good options from Hunting Bear, duck this. Also from Hunting Bear, this is -9. It is your turn. A lot of people think this is plus because the way he initiates Hunting Bear, he does the same move but while running, right? It is -9. In order for Kuma to actually block the attack coming after he does a -9 move from Hunting Bear, he has to hold down back and then block to get out of Hunting Bear. So you might be able to catch people, just fully launch them from this stance if they don't go back into like a neutral blocking stance. Back forward 2 is a counter hit launcher. Really good tracking this as well. Also another reason you shouldn't really step Kuma that much, just because he has this and he has this. This is a high. You can duck it if Akuma just keeps spamming this because of the range is very good. But yeah, you can duck that if Akuma keeps doing that. Right, now moving on to probably the reason you guys clicked on this video. We're going to go into heat. I'm going to show you how to deal with Kuma's heat. It's actually really, really easy. So, Kuma's activated heat, right? Bear in mind, there is his heat smash here, 13 frames, because he can use it as a punish, so be careful. And it's very hard hitting. It's got very decent range, and he does quite a bit of damage as well. So from heat, he has electrics, right? So the way to deal with this, if Akuma just keeps spamming electrics and nothing else, then the way to deal with this is... Let me change character, because Kuma has such a terrible backdash. So I can show you guys properly. Let me use a normal character, just for argument's sake, with a regular backdash. I mean, we can use Kazi. He hasn't got the best backdash. Maybe King? Choose King. King has a pretty bad backdash. But the way to deal with the electrics is actually really, really easy. Unless he has you at the wall, and then at the wall it's a different story. Then he can actually pressure you pretty well with the electrics. But for most characters, if he does this out in the open... See, I'm just backdashing once. You can just backdash once here. So, electric. You have tons of time. And I'm not even doing like a proper backdash. But his and I'm also doing this from point blank as well. The other thing you can do is sidestep left or sidestep right as well. They have basically no tracking. So you can just sidestep. The only reason you wouldn't sidestep against Kuma in heat is for this mix-up, right? So he can actually do if I wait for the heat meter, I can do something like this. So now, if Akuma is just spamming this, bearing in mind he can just do down forward 2-1 anytime he wants. Okay, just bear that in mind when I show you this. Because the electric is a special mid, you can crouch block the electric. Yes, it does chip damage, quite a lot of chip damage. But if they keep doing this mix and nothing else, then just crouch block and then launch. So yeah, I hope this makes your life easier against Kuma, because I know that a lot of you are, don't really know how to deal with the electrics, but the key thing is that it's a special mid. You can't actually crouch block, and you can also sidestep the electrics. The only reason I wouldn't sidestep here is because of the swipe that he can mix up with. But there's just some information there for you to deal with Kuma in heat. He's not as oppressive as it might seem. You can backdash, you can crouch block, you can sidestep. Yeah, you have a ton of different options there. And the last thing I want to talk about is this combo. Combos that end with this, right? So if you stay on the floor here, if you stay on the floor, this is what happens. You eat tons of damage, right? This is a big setup for Kuma, right? What you have to do is get up and block that. Or you can do a get up kick if you see him charging that up. Because this move is 32 frames, like the quickest version of it, you have more than enough time to react and do a get up kick. Because at the end of the day, the difference between eating this much damage and this much damage on the floor is quite a lot, right? It does 48 damage on the floor. So just that setup, you need to do a get up kick or just get up and block low. It's probably safer to get up and block low here, but it is a mix-up that he has. And that brings us to the end of the guide. I hope that makes you guys' life a little bit easier going against Kuma in Tekken 8 in ranked and whatnot. I know that Kuma is a very rare character to actually go up against, but he can knowledge check you to death if you don't know these things. So hopefully this video helped in that aspect. If you like the video, leave a like, and if you're new here and you want to find your way back, hit the subscribe button down below. That's it from me. Hope you guys found this useful. Take care, and I will see you in the next one.